Welcome to Nobody Knows with Joey Johnson, powered in part by Classic of Denton.
At 8 o'clock p.m.
Joey Johnson, have y'all heard of him?
I really don't listen to the radio.
Okay, let me ask y'all this. Have y'all heard about the magic show that's about to be in Denton?
No.
I don't go to school here.
No? Do you like magic? Have you ever seen magic in real life?
I've seen the smile on a child's face on Christmas morning. They just did basic card tricks, They predicted what you were going to say off of statistics and how your body acts.
Yeah.
They did some of those, where you put the card at the bottom and then you flip it over and you can tell them to pick a card.
Yeah.
But you really have a spot card, so you can just go back and look for that card that you found.
Yeah. Here, you hold this. I'm going to show y'all something.
All right,
let's see this. Make sure. Yeah, we're still going. Here, you take it like this. I bend it, right? I bend it so there's not another bent one in there, right? Yeah. So I put it in there like this. Watch.
Okay, it actually jumped to the top. Oh, no.
So yeah, there's a magic show. Y'all excited?
Yeah, I'm excited now.
Yeah, all right, y'all be good.
All right, thanks.
We don't have the fiddles in.
We don't have the fiddles.
We don't have the fiddles.
Welcome
Can't
to
get it
the
how much you
fiddleless. This is the fiddleless version.
I'm now sharing it to numerous platforms, and here we are.
Hey,
episode 27? 27? Am I right
27.
there? Yes. I have to ask every week, and I still just don't remember at this point. And I literally looked at the podcast app today, which is the iTunes store where you can find us, and saw that episode 26 was on, so I should have known such.
Yeah, they all got updated. I noticed that. Or
They
something.
did. They did.
I don't know. I noticed
We're on top
something.
of it here.
What did I notice? I saw something that said y'all did something.
We're on top of it here. It got switched to Joey Johnson instead
Joey Johnson.
Yes, Joe. And as said, I am your host, Joey Johnson.
Because you're doing magic now. Joe Coffey did no magic. Joey Johnson does
no magic.
Does a little magic now.
I now know a couple of magic tricks because of you that I will be doing at your show on the 25th on Saturday. As always, my co-host here and the headliner of said magic show, Richie Flo, doing the salute to the camera.
I don't know.
What was that?
I felt like
I've never seen you do something like that before.
I felt like David Letterman. I don't know.
See, we're plugging the iTunes Store, the iHeartRadio, Google Play, and all that stuff. But you really miss out if you don't tune in live to see Richie salute to a camera, because that is the only time you'll see a derelict perform such a militarized move, such as Richie just did.
Honestly, I think you can go back and look at the video, rewind it. I think I was putting the hair out of my way, and then I just looked, and I saw it looked like I was saluting.
And you just saluted
finished
to the camera. Oh, Javorce James and Dan Danzy are in the window.
Hey.
Two guests of the show before. What are you guys doing? Where are you? Oh, my God. I wish we could just get them in. This is too much.
What's happening? Are they
local comedians on the show before now heckling us in the window? We're moving on up here in episode 27. What's up, dude? How you been?
Doing good, man. I got 4 days away before
I feel like I haven't seen you in about 4 days.
Blow the world's mind.
With the magic show.
Well, at least a room
blow
full of
the
people.
World's mind. I mean, and I know I've sat with you for some of the act to help with jokes and stuff, for it. And from what and I don't know anything about what Richie's doing. I will clarify that.
No,
right
it
now
is
too.
it's so funny how that is. People are like, oh, he got to see. But
people ask me when I tell them I'm helping you write your set, they think I know how and what what you're doing, and I have no idea. I literally have zero idea on what this dude is, how he's doing what he's doing. I've told people I think I just hang out with the devil. I think literally you might just be Jesus or the devil. But it's literally I have no idea. Keep it neutral. Yeah, I'm sitting on the fence there. I'm living in purgatory here with Richie.
Dude.
But literally, it's such a weird thing because as someone who's written, I mean, as someone who's like written stand-up sets and stuff, whatever, and like scripts and stuff, like it's a whole different kind of style of writing for you to like do a set in front of me to like freeze you and say, okay, this would be funny here within that trick or that. And that's really all it's ever been too. Like I still have zero idea how you do what you do other than some of the stuff you magically instilled upon me, which I will be opening the show. I'm hosting the show and I'll be doing a couple of magic tricks myself.
I'm excited about that part.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about that part. You know, like how am I going to saw that lady in half? You know what I mean? Like,
you may not.
I know she may die. That's not a thing I will be doing. But
come find out on November 25th.
Sawing two ladies in half.
Yeah, it was funny because I was out here showing these kids because there was a bunch of kids, and I obviously thought that they'd want to see some magic. So I interviewed them, showed them some magic.
That was the last part, right? Yeah. Like, the kid. All right. So what was he saying? Did that make any sense?
He was
talking about how you always have a spot card, or like
I said, have you ever seen magic
something
before?
About spot card.
I said, have you ever seen magic before? And he says, yes. At school, these kids used to do magic tricks, but they were all they were really doing was just remembering where you put the card and then basing it off of your body language and your posture on what the card was. And I'm thinking, if someone at your school is reading people's body language like that, that's way cooler than them doing magic.
Yeah.
Like, if that's what you think that they're doing.
That's a really smart kid at your school.
I was like, dang.
They better be making some good grades.
Yeah.
So literally what he was saying was, it made no sense, right? It was gibberish, right?
So then I showed him some magic, and they all freaked out. But
you did the bend in the card trick, right? Where you bend a card, you put it in the middle, you snap your fingers, and then it pops to the top.
Well, then
which is one of the craziest things. First off, the craziest. I mean, I know some of the people on your actual show openers, they do crazy card, but that's the craziest card trick I've ever seen.
Well, the thing is, they're like, "Oh my gosh, where's this magic show gonna be?" And I was like,
Andy's bar.
Y'all are like 16, 17. Y'all
can't come.
You
can't.
But because that was the last time I was talking to Dan
you cannot
Danzy.
come in. If you're under 21, you cannot come in to said magic show. Correct?
Got to be 21, 21 plus.
How much are tickets again?
20 pre-sale, 25 at the door.
You talked about that price in the Denton Record Chronicle. You want to kind of clear that up for some. I mean, that's because let's be real. In Denton, you would consider that a steep price, but for what you're getting, you're literally seeing something you've never seen done in Denton before. And, I mean, I've seen you do, like I said, I've helped you write some of this. And the only reason I asked that question is for the people listening, because I know entirely it is worth that. Because I've seen you do this stuff, and I've seen you do it some of these tricks over and over to help you write them, and I still have no idea.
At the end, there's the thing where I feel like people will understand that. I mean, it's just there's a certain quality that's behind it. We're not just like, hey, this is going to be a thing, and then we're just going to, like freestyle it. Like, this is something that we're putting together. Like, I'm not sweating. I don't think anybody's really sweating the price. I don't really think that that's an issue.
I don't think so either. I just think that is a higher price you normally see out
for sure.
Here. But it's
not a rap show.
It's
not a rap show.
It's not a comedy show. It's nothing you've seen out here. It's not a thing that literally you have three, not just one, not just Richie doing an hour.
Yeah, if it was me, I would feel bad if it was just me up there.
Time wise, what are the time slots again? For you have three magicians. I'll be opening a little.
Doors
bit,
open at 8.
Okay.
Magic starts at 9.
Okay.
And then
an hour of drinking, hanging, mingling out. So you have. I'll be doing a short amount of time. The first magician, who will that be? Will that be
Monico,
who we have on the show today?
Yeah,
we'll be bringing in Monico.
Hey,
we'll be bringing in Monico in here in a bit. So he'll be. How much time is he doing? Is that figured out yet?
Not exact times, but I mean,
how much magic do you think people are getting to see though? Like
a lot, way more. I mean, 2 hours of magic.
2 hours of magic. So literally, that's I mean, I'm just gonna say
2 hours of magic or more.
All I'm trying to say is within that price range, that's kind of a steal, especially in some of the things you and I have written together, but they're such big tricks. I haven't even seen them.
Yeah, I would say
some of the things you're telling me that you're gonna do I'll tell people right now, are insane.
Yeah,
it's insane.
So here's the thing. I would say this. Even by myself, I would like every single thing that you're gonna see, like all the acts. If we were by ourselves, it would be worth $25. I think. Like if you're paying at the door. But together,
I mean, I could even say more. Just
you're gonna see it. Like,
but I also think about what I'm saying. I'm basing it just on working on your act.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
also 2 other magicians who have an act that I haven't even seen that are probably way worth
that
it
are awesome,
too.
man.
So that's what's crazy about it. And like, I mean, you know, someone who's like done stand up in the area, what you get with the stand up show is what you get. You know what I mean? You're gonna have about 3 to 6 comics go up and do their thing. Magic, it's a very interesting thing, the dynamics of how it works. Kind of with comedy, you have different style people that go on.
Yeah.
And here's the thing with Magic is you guys have it's a trade, right? In a sense, like there's some things that are passed down through other magicians. So you guys have like longer sets, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And
like inherently, because tricks get passed down, little traits or like skill sets within the craft. From what I've learned from you, they get passed down.
For sure.
So again, when you go to a magic show, you're getting so much. Like, I would never expect anyone to pay $20 for a stand-up comedy show unless they're seeing a huge headliner at the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but for that magic, for literally like 3 dudes who could probably do like
here's
30
the thing.
to an hour of magic each.
Yeah,
that's a lot of time you're getting. That's a lot of magic. There's like a bang for your buck there.
You're not going to be going to another magic show like in a week from now.
No. Yeah.
In 2 weeks, you're not going to be like, oh, but there's another magic show.
Okay, let's talk about that then. So do you think like when I had started out here, before I had started throwing shows and like had some help with people out here cultivating a comedy scene, there was like none of that. You know what I mean? You didn't have people week to week going and like seeing comedy shows, right? Now you have some weekly shows. You have 2 Brave Boys, Taylor Higginbotham, Brad McKenzie, all this stuff like that. Backyard occasionally does shows. We have the Harvest House show that goes at least once a month. Like there's been a scene that's in the Midway Craft House, bi-weekly. There's been a scene though that's been crafted. Like there's like cultivated, there's like people that they hit a comedy scene heavily. Is Magic a little bit different in the sense that you can't have that many reoccurring shows? Like, how do you build a scene for Magic? Because that's kind of what you're doing right now. You're where I was 3 years ago throwing my first comedy show in a town that didn't have comedy. I just kind of based it on what music did. I went to places that normally played music, like you're doing with Andy's, and I did the same model. I was like, okay, we can do this. We can pull people, right? You guys sell drinks. We do this, and slowly it became a thing. So how do you do that with like Magic?
So to me, I think about it like this. So we can't have a Magic show every month. Right? You have to have people wanting it. At least not in the same area. If it was, let's say Denton was where we're trying to build a scene. But we're doing magic all the time. We're always walking around doing magic for people. I'm always like, I'll either do magic. I film doing magic for like certain projects I'm working on. I put magic on my Instagram. I do magic here. There's open mics where I could go and do like 2 or 3 tricks or like this and that. There's me going to people's birthday parties, me going to like
have you gotten any open mics yet and done some tricks, or you're kind of just like letting that like sit?
I don't want to do that right now. I mean, I want to do this show because
kind of like an unveiling of sorts, because people are seeing you on the street do the card tricks and stuff. Once again, some of the stuff that you're doing at this the show, like no one's seen you do. Yeah,
for sure. And there's there's reasons for open mics, but one thing is I'm because of my hip hop background, I'm pretty comfortable on a stage. I don't really need that. I really just need more than I need time like that. I just need time to myself to create,
to work
and make
the tricks.
Happen.
Like you have the theatrical aspect of it down.
Yeah, which I think that's what I would be going to open.
I mean, because literally when you and I were talking about this, 2 months ago, like it was like we were still talking about, like, you were still figuring out some of the tricks, you know what I mean? And then we sat down, a couple of weeks ago, and you had it all, and we just kind of figured out the order, figured out some of the jokes, and now on your own, you've written almost this. It's like building a comedy set. It's like building a music set that feeds off. You have these this bag of whatever you got, right? And then you figure out the way to disperse that bag out to the people.
These songs,
and then you
these
find
tricks, these jokes.
And then you find the thing that makes it whole, the story, whether it's the narrative of like who you are or why it is what you do, kind of a thing. And with Magic, I feel like that's very important, because there's that sense of like wonder within Magic, as opposed to like comedy. It's very transparent. You're telling them it is what it is. Magic, you're never telling them it is what it is, but you're trying to give a reason behind it to have them feel like they can relate to what they're seeing. Exactly. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and for me, the thing is, like, going back to like open mics and stuff like that, like, I do kids parties sometimes. So like, talk about audience management when it comes to
I feel like though that's kind of like the corporate gig for a comedian, like one of the tougher like spots to do. Or although I don't know, kids love it, right? Or do you ever have a kid that like hates magic and they like think
this
you're
is what I get. I get a kid that says, "Oh, I've seen this trick before," which I
the
always
worst
say,
heckler for
okay,
Richie's an 8-year-old.
Awesome, that's awesome. Why don't you go ahead and play over there then while I finish showing these kids the magic? Go ahead and no, go ahead and play over there.
I love the idea of very confident, very out there Richie just getting shut down by an 8-year-old. Just getting like
I have this trick where the finale isn't really a trick, but it's just like some silly string stuff, but there's like a boring part of the trick before it because that's the point. You do something boring and then you do something funny, and so I'm doing this boring part and like midway through, this kid just looks at me and he goes, boring, and like all these little kids just laugh. And I'm like, what do you do? And then luckily for me, I had some silly string to spray him with, so
so
I was like, that sounds boring.
Is that almost like the difference between like when I'm told I have to do a clean comedy set versus a dirty comedy set? Like, how much different is your child's set from your like what you're gonna be doing here at Andy? Because I mean, literally, some of the stuff you're doing at Andy's, it's mind blowing. It's clean. You're not doing a lot of dirty. You could still do this for these kids, but what do you think? Do you think their brains would just explode?
They wouldn't even understand. Yeah, some of the stuff I do at like I had to figure it out. Like
mentalism wouldn't like work well with kids. Which mentalism is some of the stuff that you're gonna be doing, which involves mind, almost like a mind reading kind of thing, right? Like a psychic.
Well, one of the things is kids. They don't really care about card tricks,
right?
And I've done like one of the first kid show I did.
No,
they're
not impressed by
the first kid show I did. I had a whole bunch of card tricks, and these kids were just like, "What? What? Okay, what do we care?"
Why do you think
so
that
then
is?
I
Do
went
you think their brain couldn't process just the odds of like what you were doing and how crazy it was?
Because it's a deck of cards to us, but to kids it's just a stack of paper. And that's not a big deal.
Okay.
Oh, you have these stacks of paper.
Right.
Cool.
How old
what
are
you gonna
how
do?
old are like when you do a children's show? How old is that crowd normally? Because you're about to be doing a 21 and up show. Like.
It depends. Sometimes there's kids that are like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Okay.
And it's always funny. Because what I do is I say stuff like, hey, we're gonna blow up these balloons. Well, I'm gonna blow it up. I'm assuming that your little tiny lungs aren't going to be able to blow up this balloon. And the parents are like laughing and this and that. Or I give away candy and
do you make more fans of parents at those
that's
things
kind of
than
the
you do
point.
kids?
Like, it's almost like
the
your
kids
dog,
are never going to invest.
When people give their dog like Xanax for their dog, it's not really for the dog. It's really for the person and what they're projecting onto that dog.
How do magicians make money other than shows? Like like it's a lot of like kind of your magic special. And
how do I make money doing shows?
No. I mean, no, not like that. I mean, like once you get like, because
like
right
what's
now
the next
you're
step?
Right, exactly. Kind of like how, like, I'm making money doing shows. What's my next step? Okay, well, I need to get on Comedy Central. I need to get a Netflix special. I need to get on TV, get some credits, so then more people want to go to my shows. You know what I mean? Like, be on a sitcom.
It depends on
what
I
was like, oh, Joey Johnson. Oh, he's at Hyenas. Let's go see him. So, like, yeah.
It depends on where I'm comfortable because, dude, if I could just do what I'm doing right now and if I could just not have any higher standards of living, then I would be decent. But, at some point I'm going to want a limo and all this stuff, so I'm going to have to go on TV and stuff like that. But
street stuff, merch.
Yeah, merch.
Is merch huge for magicians? Is that a thing?
It could be, but you don't want to be a merchician.
A merchician. All right.
That one was for Jake.
So I just checked the time. We are close to around like 19
Shout out to David
right
Eller
now.
for just noticing the record.
David Eller noticing our table is a record. So committed to the music here at
it's
a
funny,
comedy radio.
The first thing I ever heard about Denton Radio when I tuned in, I was like, ooh, that's a cool table. Like the instant I tuned in, the very first thing I saw.
Reading comments right now.
No.
Ruin art.
It would probably be really awkward.
Oh, but that's kind of like that Arrested Development. So the comment is scenes ruin art. LOL. A scene of magicians would be even more awkward and socially anxious than comedians. Well, I mean, clearly. Like it's kind of like that Arrested Development like thing, right? Like it's the Magicians Guild. There's a guild?
There are stuff like that around
Is
here.
anyone?
Sure.
Are you a part of the guild?
I'm not, and that's probably not a good thing for the art.
Well, you know.
But I don't think it needs a scene. Like, here's the thing. Most people are like, oh, cool, magic is cool.
I think comparing a magic scene to a comedy scene, like I was trying to say within, like earlier, that's an entirely different thing. Yeah. That's an entirely different what you're trying to build.
See, the scene I'm trying to build is not of magicians. It's of people who want to see magic.
Yeah.
Right? So usually with magic, you see a trick, then you learn it, and then you try it. And most people, when they try that first trick, it just doesn't work like you think, and they find out, and then you're like, oh, I'm never going to do that again. But there's a few people who it works out, and you fall in love with that.
And it makes people want to go see it. And, a scene was necessary for the comedy scene out here because, we have a decent amount of paid shows out here. We have a decent amount of comics who get to open for very good headliners out in bigger areas. And we've had some decent festivals out here. So, you can have whatever stance you want on that. But either way, it definitely has helped Denton musically and comedically. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to play a video. What is this video of Richie?
This
Jake, do you have that?
Vegas.
Okay.
He's going to be performing. He's not with us tonight.
He will not be. But this is him doing some card. This is a promo video for the show.
Doing some card magic.
We're gonna be pulling in Monico, who will be one of the opening magicians for Richie again on the 25th at Andy's, and we'll be pulling in one of the main bookers for the show and head of Deep Wax Productions, Mark Zimmerman. He's been on the show before, so we're gonna play the video and get them in here.
I'm it.
Vegas. I'm 25, and I got into magic 15 years ago. Saturday, November 25th, Andy's Bar, 8 p.m.
Yeah. That was insane. That guy's crazy. So for the people that will be downloading later, Google Play, iHeartRadio, iTunes, that was just a video of Vegas, who will be one of the magicians. He was doing some card tricks. 15 years. He says he's been doing it for 15 years. Is this like his 25, 15 years? So he started at 10. Is this his first? Will this be his first magic show he'll be doing?
Like this, I believe, yes.
What do you mean?
I don't think so.
What are you saying? What are you saying right
now?
No,
yes, I think this is.
This is the first show he'll be doing on a stage. So man, that's so great. Like it takes so much time to develop that because I mean, as compared to like stand up where it's like, oh, you just go and do an open mic and then all of a sudden you're a comedian. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's literally
but there's also
the stigma that's attached.
There's
to
doing stand up, but then there's also like you telling jokes to your friends and people that you don't know when you're in line. Mm-hmm. But as a comedian, you probably don't think about the joke that you did to your waitress as like a big deal. But a magician, you might just see your waitress and be like, hey, look, here's a sugar packet, or do something magical with it.
So I guess the following up question, we have Monico here, everybody. Monico will be one of the opening magicians for the show. How's it going, man?
Good. How you doing?
Good. How long have you been doing magic?
Roughly about 9-10 years.
9-10 years? Okay, so a similar amount of time.
Yeah.
So is this your first big production kind of show you'll be doing?
I've done a little birthday parties, something like that, but never nothing this caliber.
Like private kind of gigs and stuff. So Richie, how long you been doing magic?
I was like 6 years old. Okay. I'm 29, so 3 years.
So 3 years. Is that how the math works? I mean, that's insane. Like compared to
23 years, man.
Compared to most any kinds of art you go out and do, like performance art. I mean, the amount of time I guess it takes to finally get up there and have a full born act of magic. Yeah. I mean, that's insane to me in its own. I mean, clearly it's kind of like the open mic of practice, except you're doing it on your own, which I think is almost even more dedication. Because in comedy, you get a sense of self-validation, right? When you go up, you do an open mic, and you still get the people to laugh at you, so you still get to feel what it feels like to, I feel like whatever comedian I saw on Netflix yesterday. But you guys are literally sitting there, whether it's on the street or in your room practicing or with your girlfriend, it becomes this thing where you're systematically having to work it in week by week by week for years before now you're doing a show and getting paid. I mean,
and you build this knowledge of magic where you know so much stuff, so you have to be you have to pick and choose what you're gonna show people and make sure that you're doing it to the best of your ability.
Right. Well, I mean, it's dope it's happening, and the reason, I guess, one of the main reasons it would be happening, also with us, Mark Zimmerman from Deep Wax Productions. Obligatory studio clapping.
Thank you.
How's it going, man? Been on the show before? You're back?
Yeah. I've been on the show once before.
How you feeling?
It was all right.
Yeah. Is it a little getting better?
It's good times.
You come and watch us as a studio audience member.
I remember I was roasting your mustache the whole time.
Yeah, I know. That was after I got back from Chicago.
Yeah, you had the shy stash.
And now I'm doing the shy stash.
Now you got
the must stash.
Now you got the neck beard going.
Yeah, right now it's pretty shallow. I mean, you haven't seen my neck. My neck beard, the way your chin's going right now, I've had a neck beard like that before.
Yeah.
So right now I'm doing okay.
Yeah,
it's
pretty powerful.
You've been doing. You recently did a dance party at Backyard on Bell.
Yep. Yeah, that was pretty fun.
Last time you were here, you were promoting Deep Trouble. Another thing you did, Backyard on Bell, just a variety kind of show. And now you're bringing obviously Monico here in the studio, Richie to do a magic show. Talk about that a little bit. I mean, you've obviously seen Richie do some magic on the street. We get that, and people have seen it on the show. But what made you want to bring that to, I guess, the square, to the public, the people, the paying customer?
Well, first and foremost, I was just talking with Richie one day. I was like, what do you want to do? I just asked him what he wanted to do, and he said, I want to do magic. Mm-hmm. And so I was okay. Well, let's do a magic show, because Den has never seen a magic show. Right. I like to do things that no one will think to do, like the dance party. We called it, now that's what I call a dance party. And we based it was a karaoke dance party, and we based it off the first 15 Now CDs.
And I mean, I went to that show, and most shows you go into, or any kind of live music show, people are sometimes too cool to dance. You literally, I've been to couch potato shows. People are literally potatoes on a bench, sitting there. The dance party, the karaoke thing, you had people up, they were dancing, they were literally. I went up and sang karaoke for the first time.
Even
ever.
Joey Johnson,
I went up and sang
hometown
karaoke. Hero. So now you're bringing this magic, though, man. You got Richie, Monica. Are you from Denton?
Yeah.
Monica? Okay.
You went to school out here, I believe.
Where'd you go to school at?
Geyer.
Geyer area?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You'd be surprised how many magicians there are in this town.
No.
How many do you think there are in this town?
4 that I know of.
4? And you guys both know, is that the same number?
I know
Monica,
about
Richie?
I know. I've been getting a lot of ads. And a lot of those people have been magicians.
Do a lot of them do shows like what you guys are doing?
No, they just, they've done it for their friends.
Yeah.
It's a thing that you know, that's what I'm saying. In comedy, at some point, you go to the stage, but maybe you don't realize, Magic's one of those things where you might just do card tricks for somebody who's like when you're at a party or something, and that's just kind of what you do, and or sometimes you do it, sometimes you don't. It's not really a thing, but for me, I've made it a part of my experience that I give people when they meet me. So I felt like I might as well like make it, you know.
So the order after me, will Monico be going after me or Vegas will be going after Monico? Like, so what is like, obviously without giving away your act, like what is like your specialty? Like what would you say? Like card tricks?
Cards.
Like,
cards? Yeah, okay. For sure.
So how long, like literally you've been doing cards for within the 10 years you've been doing Magic?
Mostly cards. I do a little bit of rubber band stuff, coin stuff. For a while I dabbled in hypnotism.
Okay, there is a, oh my God, what is his name? Don Barnes, I think might be his name. There's some dude from L.A. I do stand up at like the Hyenas area locations decently, and
Don Barnes,
a decent amount of time.
One and only.
Man, I forgot his name. There is a hypnotist that comes in, and he'll do sets at Hyenas at the comedy club. You know, he has 2 like comedians open up for him, and man, it is one of the craziest things. And there's such an interesting amount of like brain work to it. I think 'cause the way he does it, you know, he'll like play some music, he'll talk about some things, kind of get you in that zone, and then he does this thing where he like has the people come on. Like if you want to come on and get hypnotized, come on the stage. I have this many chairs, so the first people to come up, you know, they kind of already want to do it.
Yeah.
And I think it's almost like in comedy, like we do like crowd work. You know what I mean? And crowd work works in the sense like the best crowd work is almost like where I can set them up to then they tell the joke. You know what I mean? Like the best crowd work, it's not me telling the joke, it's me saying something that makes them say something funny, almost kind of like that like what would it be called in Magic? The distraction, the illusion, the initial
illusion,
like
the distraction,
the initial distraction that takes you away from like what is actually happening.
Yeah.
And I think that's
there's a word for it, but I don't want to give it away. Not on this platform.
Right. Okay. But anyway, like I'm losing my point on that, I guess. But I feel like the way of like working a mind on stage, I guess, is one of the most interesting things to me. You know what I mean?
It's
like
technique.
Right. And crowd work within comedy almost seems to have a similar sense of hypnotism, where like you almost are going to let that person do the work, just by setting them up to like want to do that. You know? Does that make sense?
For sure.
I don't know. Here's the thing: is like you almost have to guide this. You're the co-host of the show. You're a magician. I feel like I'm going to say things that might compromise the integrity of Magic.
No, not at all. You're not a magician.
Exactly. So I don't.
We're the ones who took the vow. Actually, I didn't take a vow. Did you take a vow?
No.
I just don't want people to know.
Is there a vow?
Not that I know.
This is the magician's code.
There is a magician's code, but the guy on TV broke it. But I'm not.
Who broke it?
His name was.
I can't remember.
Valentino.
Yeah, Valentino.
Yeah, he's the dude that had the mask that like he would reveal magic tricks.
His tricks.
Yeah.
Did he make coin off that?
Show.
He made money off.
He made money, but I mean,
like it was a show on Fox, right?
The person, people who watch that are usually magicians. You know, like I know people that I'm like, oh hey, and this is how I do it, and I'm not really telling them how I do it. I'm just kidding, and they go, no, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. And I'll go, no, look, just watch. And they're like, I don't want to know. Please don't tell me. Please.
I mean, even just the simple tricks you've helped me learn for the show.
Yeah.
Figuring out the way it's done, you're always like, it's not ever a like very fun thing, but it's but it's amazing when you really break down the fact that someone like took such a simple observation and made it more than it really was, you know, and whether it's sleight of hand, whether it's something crazy, like it's always more simple than you think. And I guess that's what makes Magic almost so genius is you break it down to the most simple form of doing it to where the person would never even think to do that.
For sure.
Everyone's always expecting the smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's the thing is, you know, we're at a time where everyone's thinking that there's smoke and mirrors so much that I just tend to use smoke and mirrors, and they just think
and
that
then they never know.
They say he would never use smoke and mirrors on us.
So Monico, who like Magic, I guess influences, who are like your dudes or ladies?
When I first started, I started watching Chris Angel.
Okay, all right.
He was big.
Angel.
He was big around the time when I started.
You love Chris Angel.
Cool.
Richie showed me so many Chris Angel videos. Don't let him.
Then David Blaine, Copperfield. All those
Copperfield
big
videos are hilarious.
Yeah.
They're like
I love Copperfield.
they're inherently funny. You know, the absolute like the way it's presented. It's so the video you showed me where it's like in between magic tricks, he's like in his own warehouse. Like it looks like he's at like a spy rendezvous with this lady in all leather, and he's in this airplane hangar of.
It's him and Claudia Schiffer, and they're like in a warehouse, and he's like, "These tricks I did in 1995. It took me over 10 years to learn this."
That's so good. All right, so
we spent $1 million refurbishing this old train.
We obviously, you know, with the whole Thanksgiving issue and with doing this today, we're a little, going to be ran short today. Mark, tell us, as someone booking this for a consumer, for someone paying that ticket, what can they expect to see? As someone who's producing this, as not a musician, as a promoter, what can?
that's difficult to try to tell people what they're gonna see.
Not
because I don't want to.
Not in terms of quality, I guess, or content, I guess. But more so,
the quality is going to be top notch. Like we're sparing no expense with this.
Yep.
It is be worth the ticket price. We're gonna have about 2 hours of magic. We're gonna have music from the illustrious Kind Beats.
Awesome.
Which everyone
who will be on the next show, I think, after us here on Denton Radio.
Yeah, but yeah, it's totally gonna be worth it. It's gonna. You're not gonna leave the show thinking that you wasted your money.
And you get to see me do magic. Even me.
Yeah, and Joe will be there too.
Okay, so Monico, I guess Richie was supposed to put you on the spot here, but we're short on time, and I'm going to take these reins. Do you have sometime? Are you going to do a trick first off?
No, did you want to do something really quick?
Sure, I can.
Yeah. To Mark? Yeah, do a trick to Mark.
All right, so here's the thing. We have cameras here, so let's play to that camera. If that's
all right.
Yeah.
Do I take off my clothes or?
And
no?
so please save that for later. That's the after show.
Oh.
But
then radio after dark.
You need to be over here where like.
So what I'm also gonna do, Monica, and I hope this doesn't fuck up. Like I will kind of somewhat or mess it up. I will somewhat live commentate it and. Just for the people on like iHeartRadio, Google Play, iTunes Store, all that. So we'll do that.
All right, cool. Just come over there, stay here.
Yeah, you're good. I mean, here's this camera, so be aware of that because they will see all your secret moves.
You don't want them to see your secret moves.
Right?
Yeah, pull up those sleeves. Sleeves are up.
You don't want to mess up.
Sleeves are up.
All right, cool. So,
it's got a deck of cards.
Go ahead and touch. I mean, take one card. Let everybody else see
Take or
it.
touch.
Take it.
I mean, you gotta be specific these days.
Take it. Yeah, right. All right, let them see it. Just don't let me see it.
It's a little obvious,
Mark
right?
has a card.
I got it.
Mark has a card in his hand.
All right.
Show the camera.
Yeah.
Show it to the camera. Okay. That's it.
Yeah, you got it.
Wait. There it is. Okay.
All right, you got it ready?
Got it.
Let's do
All right,
this.
so here in a minute, Joker's actually going to help me out, all right?
Monaco pulled the Jokers out of the deck.
Just go ahead and set it right there.
Cut the deck.
Make sure everybody sees it.
Put the card in the middle
It
of
is
the
there.
deck.
It's there.
All right.
You can see it.
Okay.
And
Now
actually, I will
the
give
other
it
half
just
of the
a
deck.
few cuts
Okay.
and a shuffle.
So it's just somewhere in there.
All right. So actually what's going to happen is the Joker's actually going to help me find the card.
The two Jokers you pulled out.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
But it's going to find it two ways. Fast way, then a slow way.
So one Joker on top and
One on bottom.
Okay.
If you give a card just a little toss, actually give it a cut, you actually see that one card actually stays behind.
What'd you
Through
do?
the deck.
Go ahead.
He threw the
What'd you
deck,
do?
and it seemed like he had two
He
Jokers
threw the
in there.
deck. Yeah.
And the other one's right there in the middle.
I'll do it one more time, all right?
All right.
Once again, set it in the middle.
Put it back
Okay.
in the middle.
Make sure it's still in the middle.
It's still there.
It's right there.
And give it just a few cuts.
Yeah.
So, once again, one on top,
Joker on top, Joker
one on bottom. This can be the slow way. If you take the Joker, give it a little wave, it actually looks
Oh, and it's now
like it
it's not
disappeared.
right side up.
Where's your Joker?
Where'd the Joker go?
It looks like it disappeared, right?
Yeah.
It looks
But
like it
actually-
went into
right.
your hand.
Darn it. But actually, if you see,
That's the secret.
Like he has a cut on his hand
That's
that
the
he puts
secret.
all his cards in.
Figured it out.
actually, if you see, they don't disappear. They
Spreads
actually
it out on the
travel
table.
through
What?
the deck, sandwiching one card. I don't want to touch it. Go ahead and take it.
All right. Yep.
It's right there, right in the
Hey.
middle.
Space.
Monaco.
Good job,
Oh, my
job.
goodness.
It's real.
man.
Well, magic.
Speaking of cutting,
Boom.
I used to knife fight.
Nice.
Yeah.
Will there be any knife tricks? Do you have any
There actually is a knife trick.
You have a
Everyone's
knife
gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
watch
need
out.
you as a guest.
Oh, okay, as a
Yeah.
volunteer.
Yeah, well, we can't really just have anyone sign waivers for this.
Right. Well,
yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we will cue that music, and we will plug this. Richie, plug this show.
November 25th, Andy's Bar, starting at 8 o'clock. Doors open at 8. Show starts at 9. Deep Waps Productions. We got Monico, Vegas, me, Kai Beats on the beats. We got everybody. We got the whole.
Keep in mind,
thrown by Mr. Zimmerman right here to my left.
Keep in mind the doors will close at 9, and to not ruin the illusion or the effect of the magic, they will not be open. There will be no in and out. There will be no in and out.
Awesome.
And if you can't make it before 9, the doors closed. You're out of luck. No refunds.
Catch you next time.
Should have been more punctual.
Sorry. I'll be at Harvest House tomorrow with some comedians. I believe the show starts around 8 or 9, so just show up at Harvest House to do that. It's a free show, comedy, November 25th at Andy's. Richie Flow Magic Show, everyone, Wednesdays, 5:30. Thank you for joining us on Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Have a great Thanksgiving. Until episode 28, this is 27. Bye, people.
Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to check out DentonRadio.com for new Denton artists and where they're playing next. While you're surfing the internet, make sure you check out our friends Classic of Denton at ClassicofDenton.com.